Hi there, and welcome to Dork Wars Live, your galactic hub for all things Star Wars and more. Tonight, I am by myself from the Dork Wars crew, but I have two excellent guests on the pipeline. First up, I'm going to introduce Dragon Buddy himself from the Escape Pod. What's up, Dragon Buddy?
Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Having a good week so far, or weekend?
We're doing what we can. Not in Chicago having fun with a whole bunch of the
Yeah.
Red Five today, but it's okay. I got the live stream. We've been talking to everybody down there, so
Right.
it's a good day nonetheless. And I'm on Dork
It's all
Wars,
right.
so it's all good.
We're the Red Five rejects tonight. It's okay.
Right.
It's all right. You know,
Right.
another one that is not in Chicago but is here with us tonight, and happens to be Dragon Buddy's wife. Welcome, Lunar Girl.
Happens. I'm
What's
also
going
a
on?
reject.
It's all right. And I know we were all trying to plan to go and get there, and
Yeah.
it just didn't happen.
It just didn't happen. Life had other plans for us.
That's right.
Next year.
But all for next year. Yeah, next year. What is it? Red Scarif Con, just DEFCON 5 or yeah.
DEFCON
DEFCON
5.
5,
Shanti
yeah.
keeps saying it's DEFCON 5. So I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds a little scary, but fun at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go. I'm a little scared, but I definitely want to go.
5 years with the
Definitely
Red
wanna go.
Five.
And
Ooh.
cousin DJ's in the chat, and he's asking who the dork in the glasses is. It's Blake. It's just Blake. I can't see our names. Oh, there's our names. Okay, that was
It
weird.
might be Lake.
Glitch for a second. Might be Lake. Might be
Might be
Grant.
Lake.
Even
Maybe Grant. Oh God, please don't let me call you Grant
Wait a
all
minute.
night.
it's okay. You've got a cheat sheet.
Yes,
that,
your
so
name.
we're
You
good.
have a name tag tonight, so
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
the
what's
best
wrong
thing
with
for
me.
it. We screwed you up because I'm always like on the Dork Wars Twitter.
Yeah,
That's me. When you see Dork Wars Twitter, it's me. And then
Yeah.
Grant comes from Dork Wars and starts interacting with everybody
Mhm.
on his account. And then one time he uses the Dork Wars account and it screwed it up. That was it.
It definitely
It was game
threw
over.
Lunar Girl way off.
Way off.
Oh man,
It got to the point we were gaming a
Sarah.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and Grant wasn't even there.
Grant's not even there the whole night.
Yeah.
I think we played for like what 2-3 hours. Whole night I called him Grant.
Just terrible.
It's all right. It happens to me
No,
too.
it's like,
But that's
why
all
am I
right.
saying this?
But let's get into some news. I've got some news tonight. I don't know if you
All
guys
right.
know about the news, but I do. So we'll talk about it. Now hear this.
Now hear this! Now hear this!
Now you hear this, whoever you are.
Now, starting out,
Mhm.
we have a rumor. Yes, so we do have a rumor. It is going around the old rumor mill that Henry Cavill may be playing Superman once again.
Yes.
Really?
And yeah, I really hope it's true.
Me too.
I really
Me
do.
too. I read that today.
I'm
And I'm like, oh, I love his Superman. I like it. I like it a lot.
And it's kind of like going around like some of the lower media broadcasts, I think, and there's a definite buzz there. So I don't want to label it news because it's not official
Right.
yet. But I'm a big
Right.
Superman fanboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge Superman fanboy. So I love Henry Cavill's take on the character. He plays him very well. So Luna Girl, what do you think about this? Do you think this is positive? Do you want some more Henry Cavill Superman?
I'm not very big in Superman, but he was the best one since my
Christopher Reeve?
Superman. Yeah, my Superman goes all the way back to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
So he was the best one
And-
since then, you know. So Yay. I'm so sorry I failed.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
No.
It's okay to not have an opinion. Yeah, I like the take on the Superman that they did with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Dragon Buddy, what do you think about Henry Cavill coming back as Superman?
Not only did I like his take on Superman, but I like him as an actor. He feels like he sits home and paints Warhammer 40,000 figurines and stuff. He's a cool sounding nerd. Good for him. So I like him as an actor. I know some people hate him as an actor, but I like him as an actor. And I really did like his take on Superman.
Yeah, I mean, in The Witcher, he really gets in that role. He did a fantastic job, in my opinion. He really envelops himself into it. As Superman, he really had the I don't know, the gravitas, maybe the I'm the man kind of vibe. And he had a Superman vibe. He was Superman. He took on that role. Did a great job with the character, and I know some people don't like the way that they disposed of Zod in his movie. I thought it was great. I liked it.
Right.
But I think he played Superman rather well. So I'm excited to see Henry Cavill come back as Superman. In other news, Amandla Stemberg has been brought in for The Acolyte. She's going to be starring in The Acolyte, and that's about all we know about her character in The Acolyte. I didn't really know the actress.
Is she being lead in what the Acolyte?
I think that's what's implied.
Major role?
I don't know if she's at least a major role, possibly the lead character.
Okay.
The only thing that I knew from her filmography and IMBD was Rue from The Hunger Games back in 2012.
Oh, okay.
She's since done she's done a movie recently called I Give You Hate or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the actress very well, so I don't know how to react to that really.
Right.
But one thing I did see was that on the page there are 8 episodes. She's been drafted for 8 episodes, so we can infer that there's 8 episodes of The Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the date of 2023. I don't know if we've ever had like a solid, hey, it's going to come out in 2023.
We've been back and forth a lot on whether this is going to be made, whether, I know originally they said they were going to start this year with production. But then it seemed like kind of everything went up in the air with the whole, with everything coming out with Star Wars,
right? Especially
the Rogue Squadron that was going to be coming out, starring, Cara Dune. And when that kind of blew up, this one seemed to kind of get quiet as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! The Podfather is in the chat. The Scuttle Daddy is in your chat.
I don't even see him. I don't see him here.
Red 5 Network. He says, "What's up, beautiful people?"
Oh, there he is.
Little Daddy.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Red 5 Row? What's going on, man?
Yeah, great
live
stream.
Today with Scarif Live. Yeah, Scarif Con, like, bravo. Huge success. Way to go, Scuttle Daddy. You did good.
Yeah, everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. I caught some of that stream, and I got to see Fluke Skywalker, and that was, oh my gosh, so cool.
That was cool. That was cool.
You guys are having a great time, and hey, look, all 3 of us will be there next year. Let's make it. We need to make a pact now.
We're
making a pact.
We're
making a pact.
The rest of Red 5 Eastern Division will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you drive up to Pennsylvania and then we drive over to Chicago together,
we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shanti's also on the East Coast. I don't, like I said, I don't know if the country's ready for that kind of road trip, but we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Hey, try to get all the dorks to go.
That's right. I'd love to. And speaking of dorks, we have Grant in the chat. How's it going? What's going on, Grant?
Hi, Grant.
And Andrew's in the chat too. He was talking about Bad Affleck before Ben Affleck,
Andrew.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
So we got 2 dorks in the chat.
Yay,
and Rose says he missed us.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. We miss you guys too.
Absolutely.
We really do. But yeah, what do we think of this acolyte news? Not only are we getting Amandla is her name. It's like Amanda, but with an L in there. It's weird. Amandla
Right.
Stemberg. And IMBD says it's coming out in 2023, and we're going to have 8 episodes. What do we think about that, guys? Dragon Buddy, how about you first, man?
I was super excited. Anything dark side, Sith life, I'm in. So, but the more this kind of went on, the hype is kind of left. So I'm not sure where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think I'm where DJ is, where I'm not as excited to see it, but obviously I'm going to be watching it.
Right.
Good, the bad, the ugly. It's still some content, and I can take from it what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And I'll agree. I do think that the momentum on this show has kind of backpedaled. We had so much going for it. Everyone was like, the Acolyte, what's it going to be about? We know, I think that it came out, it's going to be before the prequel trilogy, possibly High Republic tie-ins with all the books and comics and stuff they're coming out with that era. So, I mean, a lot of hype came out for this show, and then no news. It kind of just disappeared, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still excited to see it. Lunar Girl, what do you think about all the news for the Acolyte? I guess the kind of the inferred news, what we found out on our own through the internet.
Right. Well, I like any kind of Star Wars. Like, you give me breadcrumbs and I'm going to crave it. Like, keep feeding me Star Wars. I am not oversaturated with Star Wars, like whatever. So keep giving it to me. As of my excitement level for that particular show, it's probably towards the bottom, because I'm waiting for them to say, oh, something came up, we're going to put it on the shelf until 2025 or something like that. And I'm way more excited for things like Mandalorian 3 and Ahsoka, and honestly Bad Batch 2. So those are like my top 3 right now. But I'll still watch it. I'll still love it. The closer that it gets, if it looks like it's really going to happen, I'll get more excited over it.
Yeah.
And yes, I did like Book of Boba Fett.
Well, it's kind of like Andor. I wasn't sure, like, I'm not really crazy about it. And then it started getting closer, and it was like, it is Rogue One time frame leading into Rogue One, and that is a really good movie. And then the trailer hit, and it was like, okay, I'm in. I'm ready. Let's start watching. So I'm sure the closer we get, we'll see which way it might be leaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ahsoka's like way up here, like, Ahsoka, come on. How could you not want that?
I know that Luna Girl and myself are definitely, we're Ahsoka fangirls, both of us.
Huge.
Dragon Buddy, are you on the train? Are you there with us?
Oh, I'm on the train. I am on the train.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
He's not really
all about Ahsoka. I wouldn't say fangirl, but man, I love.
Maybe
Ahsoka.
an OnlyFans. Like, I'm fangirl and maybe Ahsoka OnlyFans, but
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wouldn't call it that. I'm a fan.
You're a fan.
I'm not the only fan. I'm one of many fans.
Right.
Oh man, but dude, if we can ever land Ashley Eckstein on your show,
we've had this talk. I've been trying.
I will beg you to please let me be a guest, or just like sit here, like put me in a corner. I won't talk.
Let me just
I'll
look
just
at her,
watch.
right?
Yeah, just let me be like, hi.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ashley Eckstein. Not only is she a great actress, she seems, and you can't really tell about people, but she seems like a great person. Just her energy for the character.
Genuine.
Yeah. I mean, her universe is her brand that she's come out with. And it's self-help books. It's clothing line. Like, she's got all this stuff going for her, and she's doing great.
Yeah.
And love me some Ashley Eckstein.
Yeah.
You see in Celebration, and she's a Star Wars fan, and the connection she has to the fans of Star Wars is, it's like on a very personal level.
Yeah,
so.
Such a great role model. I mean, like, there's role models out there that shouldn't be role models, And then there's Ashley, like way up on a pedestal. Like every little girl should look at her and say, that's what I want to do someday. Just because she's just such a good person. She does so much good.
I really enjoyed her during a Star Wars Celebration. I have to agree with Dragon Buddy. Every time she was on stage or leading a panel or doing this or that, you could just you could feel her excitement, even if it wasn't about her. Like, oh, I love Ashley Eckstein.
Yes. But the very first interview was about her, so
yes,
I think we watched it together.
We sure did. We were all up in the Red 5 chat, just like, oh my god.
Well, Kelly was in a Lunar Girl down there was in like 6 or 7 chats, and then was caught many times going, like, did you see this? And me being like, I am literally sitting right next to you. Oh, I didn't mean to write it in that chat. Okay, and then she'll write it. I'm in that chat too. I'm still sitting right next to you.
Why is my camera out of frame? Hello,
I have no idea.
It's the ghost.
There you go. There you go. But moving on now.
Yeah.
Grant actually had a piece of news up here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Also, 2 Avengers movies revealed for 2025. That's out of the SDCC convention, I think.
Yeah,
probably. That's
There's
going
a
on
lot
right
of
now.
rumblings going on right now with the San Diego.
Yeah.
There is, and that I guess that's one of them. I didn't catch that, Grant. That's good job. I've been out of the loop the last like 24 hours. I've just been kind of not in everything. So 2 Avengers movies. I'd love to see that.
Con instead of San Diego Con. So.
Right, and I'm not even there. So.
Yeah,
Not really. Hey, we got the Hectolorian in the chat. What's going on, Hector? What's going on, man? Thank you for joining. Moving on now, I want to talk about I Am Groot, the new television show. That's good. Well, I guess we call them television shows. It's really Disney Plus streaming show.
Right.
It's coming out on August 10th, and this one snuck up on me, guys. I knew there was a Groot show coming, but I didn't know it was coming so soon. I saw August 10th today, and I was like, oh, that snuck up on me.
That's just in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
it is.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, like, it's like supposed to be a like little kids cartoon, but who doesn't enjoy a good Disney cartoon?
I tell you what, the next month or so is so busy with nerd fandoms coming out with new shows that it's going to be exciting. You won't have a problem with nothing to watch because there is so much coming out right now.
And I feel like that I have so much to catch up on. Like I still haven't seen Miss Marvel. I still haven't seen it. I've just been preoccupied with so much, and I've heard it's. I was a little apprehensive. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. I don't know if that's really geared towards me, but I've heard some of you guys talking about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get in there and watch this thing. It seems like it's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
So there's some things I need to catch up on myself. The kids, I got a couple kids, younger kids. They might enjoy the Groot show. That'd be good to see with them.
Definitely.
Speaking of kids, I actually introduced my daughter today to the Wizard of Oz. This is the first. Yeah. So we didn't watch the whole movie. We didn't watch the whole movie. Just because we went out this evening and did some fun stuff with them. But we started watching The Wizard of Oz, and the first, 15 minutes were some black. She's like, Daddy, what is this? This is an old people movie. She was so bored. She's like, I said, it starts out in black. It starts out in black and white. She said, Daddy, that's brown. And I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Sepia.
It's sepia, right? I said, just wait.
Yeah.
She's 4. She's 4 years old.
It'll all be good then.
And as soon as Dorothy lands in Oz, opens the door and the colors, she's like, like it was just like this. It was totally. She said, "Daddy, she is so pretty," and I'm like, "I guess she wasn't pretty in sepia, huh?"
Right?
So, adorable.
She was all on board. So we got to the Scarecrow scene. We're gonna have to finish that this weekend, hopefully.
Right.
But yeah, I just love the kids. Love the kids.
That's adorable.
But Moving on now, though.
Right.
Dork Wars podcast has
Mhm.
a merchandise store.
Merchandise.
Merchandising. Merchandising.
We might have one.
What's that?
Let's see. Is this thing
Merchandising.
gonna play?
Come, I'll show you. Open up this door.
Maybe.
It
It
played.
Maybe.
It played just
did it play?
fine.
Oh,
It
there you go.
played. And now you're muted. You muted yourself.
Okay. I think my internet's not doing too good right now for some reason.
All right.
But
Right.
we do have a merchandise store. Dork Wars podcast has a merchandise store. We got Dork Wars the coffee mug. We got Dork Wars the t-shirt. Dork Wars the hoodie. We've got the Dork Wars classic design, the new design. We even have Dork Wars the flame retardant bodysuit. So when we give you all these hot takes here in a few moments, you don't get burned because we got hot takes for you guys.
Yes.
That's not quite true. We don't have the flame retardant suit yet, but we're going to work on that. But check out Dork Wars merchandise store. You can find it anywhere. You can find it on our dorkwarspodcast.com. That is our webpage, dorkwarspodcast.com. You can find it on our link tree, Dork Wars Podcast link tree. Just type that into Google. You're going to find it. And you'll also find links to our YouTube channel, which you obviously found because you're here. If not, you would find that there. You could also find our audio podcast, which is our main podcast, and it's on all the streaming networks as well.
Right.
So
Nice.
I'm trying to figure out, guys. I know that there's a Red 5 like video we're not supposed to like hit anymore, and I don't know if this is the one. It's the one with the tiles. Okay. Do you guys are we allowed to play that anymore or no?
Bro's not
I
gonna
didn't get the new
know.
one.
This
He's
salty.
He's not gonna know?
The salty one. He doesn't want to have where your
Oh
face
yeah,
up.
yeah, that's
Right.
true. Oh,
Yeah.
So which
And
one
if
is
I'm
that?
just not going to play it. I'm just going to talk about Red 5. I'm just going to talk about Red 5
I
right now.
forgot. Yeah. Oh, hi,
Yeah, I
Melanie.
couldn't remember. I couldn't remember which video it was. So just pretend that someone said Red 5. It's Red 5. Okay, cool, Red 5. So
Red
I want
5.
to talk about Red 5 Network real quick,
Yeah.
as I do on every stream. Love the Red 5 Network. This is a great group of people. We're not just good podcasters. We're all great podcasters. We're good at what we do, but we're good people. You know,
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
care for one another. We all
Yes.
talk in our chats. We all see how each other's day is going. We offer support, and it is amazing.
We have coffee.
Lunar Girl and DB are part of the Red 5 Network. So, I mean, they wouldn't even be on my show right now if not for Red 5.
Right.
So, just Red 5 love.
Yeah.
Scarif Con is going on right now. A lot of Red 5 folk out there in Chicago this weekend. And just some love. So, anything you guys want to say about Red 5 before we move on?
Red 5 is the Italian family that you never knew you needed, but you need it.
And they're not Italian. We're not
Well,
mostly Italian.
Some of them are. Some of them are. I
Some of
am.
them are. At least Lunar Girl is Italian in this giant Italian family. Like I came in onto the escape pod and sidebar pre Red 5, and then moving into the Red 5 network and then becoming a part of the escape pod. Such a great group of people in this network. We have some that you can laugh all day long, or if you're having a rough day, they're there to say, hey, we're here for you. Whatever you want to say, whatever you got to say. And it's support for our podcast, but support for friendships and definitely some good friends that we've made.
Absolutely. They're there for you when you need to laugh. They have shoulders for you to cry on. And if anyone gets in trouble, they're all right next to you, standing by your side.
Yeah. It's a great family to have. I mean, it's not just friends. I mean, we are a family, and that's something that I felt as soon as we joined Red 5. It's been a year now since Dork Wars, the podcast, has joined the Red 5 network, and crazy. I mean, just out of nowhere, I had like instant friends, and this year we've all grown together and talked, and I've had a bunch of you guys on my show, and I've been on a bunch of other shows, and it's been a fun time. I can't explain how glad I am that we found this group of people. Grant is also
Absolutely.
correct. Great group of people, fun, great friendships. D&D is the best way to make some friends. So yeah, we got to talk about Red 5 Tavern for a moment.
Sure.
Every Friday night, except last Friday or yesterday,
Yeah.
we have D&D, Red 5 Tavern. A bunch of the Red
Yes.
Fivers and friends of the Red 5 get together to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
I've not been on yet, but
Do you want to be on the waiting
it's-
list? I think you are on the waiting list. You are.
I'm on the waiting list. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've never done a D&D. I've never. I've never pressed that far. You know.
Right.
And I've tried, and I've got friends that do it, and it's like schedules and kids, and it's just hard to get to. So
Yeah.
hope one of these days I'm getting in. You know, I'm getting in.
Right.
You are. You will.
So-
You will. One of these days, the dungeon master,
Right.
who is Brad from Scarab, aka the Devil, will ask me, "Hey Kelly, go ask Blake if he wants to play next Friday." And I'm like, "Okay, dungeon master."
Sure.
And then I'll be like, "Hey Blake, Grant, Blake."
Grant is on supposedly every Friday. Supposedly.
He is. He has been. He died.
Zara is dead.
Died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zara
last week.
died. Ugh.
Got to watch that
Press
the
F
last
for-
episode. Oh,
Press
Yeah.
F for Grant.
we all paid our
Rabbit.
respects.
Yeah, F to pay respects. We all pressed F in the chat for him.
That's right. No,
But maybe he's
no
a magical
funeral, though.
bunny.
There's
so
no time for that.
maybe-
No,
I mean,
we got to move
the-
on.
Yeah,
the-
They were too busy hacking off their
Yeah,
own
move on.
limbs, and they had to get this talisman back. There was no time to mourn Kazara. It was
I
rough.
mourned Zara. Nobody else did, but I did.
poor
Well,
Grant.
over here. Kalisha, aka LG, was also trying to hack off his limbs before he was even throwing a saving throw. Like, it was like, well, can we cut his arms off? Whoa, whoa, whoa! He's still got a pulse.
I suggested it. I didn't do it, but I suggested. I mean, my character suggested.
Look, I
it.
just-
I wasn't really going to chop off Grant's arm or anything, but my character did suggest it.
I thought we're bridging into real life. I might chop open a Grant's arm.
Right.
Hey, we got ATSW, the Escape Pod. I bet you that's Don. What's
Yep.
going on, Don?
It's the snooch.
Awesome. Good to see you in the chat. All the way from Scarifton at that. But yeah, I can't wait to get into DD. I got a lot of voices that I do, so I got to find something to do. I can't wait to do that.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
But don't forget.
Oh,
don't-
I don't
don't
forget.
forget-
I keep the notes. Keep the notes.
Oh no, I'm not telling you not to forget. I'm telling everyone on this video right now in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
More.
Awesome. Did that play okay for you guys or
It
no?
did. It
Yes.
played completely fine for us.
Yep.
That's great. I'm glad that you can see it. My thing is skipping around so
Oh,
much right
no.
now. I should have restarted my internet before I live. No, like I'm probably just sitting here like, hey, But yes, like and subscribe if you are enjoying what you're seeing right now. Hit that like button on the video, subscribe to Dork Wars the podcast, and hit that notification bell so you know whenever we're live, whenever we post a video. We would love to have you in the Dork Wars crew, because we just like talking, interacting with everybody. We're at 84 subs right now, I think. So we need
Not
to
We need to
Make it
scoot
to
that up
100.
to 100. It's so close.
yeah, we're getting
So
there.
close.
We're getting there. We had a nice little bump. Hey, we got JT in the chat. What's going on, JT?
TTT.
But we got a lot of good stuff going, and I can't wait to get more people on here to talk to more people. We just love doing that.
Oh yeah.
But let's go on and get into our main topic for the evening. We are going to talk some Star Wars hot takes.
Watch it.
Yes, we are going to get into.
No.
You're like grooving then.
Well, two of the best. I mean, they're both the Cantina song. They're just riffs on them. So yeah, it's just. It's not my songs. I wish I wrote them. I'd probably be a millionaire. But yeah, the Cantina band rocks. I don't care how they're doing it. But some Star Wars, and that might be a hot take. I don't know. I don't know. But Star Wars hot takes. We're talking about the things in Star Wars tonight that most people are like, nah, no way. But you really believe in it. And if you have any in the chat, feel free to throw them out there. We'll delve into those too. Like we're just getting them. Oh no, here's Joker voice already. Painfully funny doses of reality. Yeah, possibly. Could be. So I want to come to Luna Girl first.
Okay.
What is one of your Star Wars hot takes? What is your best Star Wars hot take?
Okay. Now, I truly believe this. Okay. I truly believe this. And nobody can tell me otherwise. But Omega from the Bad Batch is Force sensitive. Book it.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that qualifies because that's something that not a lot of people think anymore. I remember thinking that at the beginning of the Bad Batch, and as it progressed, I don't know. It just kind of went away from my peripheral. Like, nah, there's no way that's happening. So I think that qualifies. I don't know. I don't know if she's Force sensitive. She's very intuitive. I like that.
She's very intuitive, and that is one of the things that, when I was thinking about the topic, that's one of the things that stood out the most is her intuition with everything, not just things happening. Like
right.
Crosshair, she knew something bad was going to happen with him. She didn't know anything yet, but she knew something bad was going to happen with him. Her general intuition on emotions, like we recently just saw this with a certain princess from Alderaan in Kenobi. So it is part of the Force to really pick up on people's emotions that easily. She has a bond with animals, kind of like what we saw with Ahsoka. Mochi or Moochie?
Moochie, I think it's Moochie. Moochie.
Right?
Moochie the Rancor.
Moochie. She does have you could see that bond, and she can calm animals down. She senses them. Ahsoka also sensed animals. She's got a bond, especially with her little owl.
Yeah, well, that's the I cannot think of what it's called right now off the top of my head, but like the life force that was the sister, the daughter from Mortis
went into that bird.
Yes.
So yeah, and then just like little things, like in the very first episode when we saw her shoot Crosshair with a Hunter's blaster rifle, and she's never shot anything in her life, and she just is it the Force? I think it's the Force. I think it's the Force.
She might just be female. I mean, I know a lot of women who are just very intuitive in a way that I'm not.
It's true. I mean, you are correct in that. But there's like other things, like sneaky things, like Nala Se knows something, and she's covering it up, and she's protecting her to the point where she secretly hired Fennec Shand to go find her,
That's true.
And somebody else wants her for something, and we don't know. I don't remember who that was, but Cad Bane was also
He was
after
hired
her.
to take her down, or to take her in. Excuse me, not to take her down, to take her in. Yeah,
exactly. So, but Nala Se is so far, I don't know. She's covering something up. She knows something. She's got a relationship with Omega. She's
very protective.
Yeah. Like, and she's ready to die over this secret. So
yeah, it could be.
Now
you're talking me into it, little girl. And I'd steered away. I really steered away from that thinking. Now
I've got
kind of bringing me back in.
I've got other things I could bring up, but that is like, thank you, Joker voice, the Morai, the bird from Ahsoka's bird, Morai.
Right. I did see
you. That was like bugging me out, but I didn't want to waste time trying to think about it.
Dude, Joker's got all the good knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we know that Ahsoka is not Ahsoka, Omega is supposedly the last unaltered DNA of Jango Fett.
Straight clone.
Right. So it could be just naturally force sensitive, or is this something that Nala Se did because she was experimenting on her? And why is Omega always in the lab with her, before the Bad Batch, came back? And there's something there. There's something there.
And I've always wondered, since she is a exact replica of Jango, why is she female? Right? Like, if she's the unaltered,
something was tweaked.
Something happened. I mean,
something was tweaked. I mean,
I'm not a biologist.
Seen X chromosome instead of a Y.
Yeah, I'm not a biologist, but something there's fishy. I mean,
yes,
a little bit stuff going on over here.
Yeah, I mean, life will find a way.
Yes, exactly. And then the final reason that I firmly believe this, I mean, like, we had the hints throughout, this season, but in the season finale, the scientist, when Nala Se was basically kidnapped and brought to the Imperial facility on the island,
right,
taken away from Camino, the scientist's uniform was the same uniform that we see in Mando, season 1. I think season 2? No, season 1.
Season 2.
Thank you.
No, that was in the season 2.
It was 1
and 2, maybe.
Pershing. Yes, it was Pershing.
Yeah.
Dr. Pershing was wearing a uniform with the same insignia that this scientist was wearing, and we all know that they were experimenting, trying to create like the best clones for Palpatine.
They were.
And they failed miserably with Snoke, but whatever. Snoke was really whatever.
Yeah, he was strong. He was strong in the Force. He just looked a little crummy.
Right.
He just looked a little funny.
Right.
I'm not gonna bag him on the way he looks.
It's true. It was weird, but okay, I'll abide by that. But yeah, still, Sacred Island, Imperial Lab, same insignia, working on clones, and Nala Se, they killed the other guy, Lama Su. They killed him, so they especially are showing interest in Nala Se. So
they are.
Yep.
And it is there's no contradicting that the Kaminoans were the best at cloning. I mean, that was their bag, man. That's what they did. They got paid to do it. They were good at it. And something happened. If they're going to make a clone of Palpatine that can be force sensitive in the body he needs, that is who they need to talk to. That is the people that they need to bring in. And
Yeah.
I think
They
I
killed
think you're hitting it.
everybody else except for Nala
They did.
Se. So
Yeah, they even bombed the homeworld. Like they destroyed Kamino. Like
Yeah.
that was sad to me. Just
I hated
that
that.
was really
I
sad.
hated
Yeah.
it,
I did too.
but it needed to happen, and we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So
And I will say I think that was a good kind of twist. I know Disney gets panned for a lot of the things that they do, but I think that was something that was like, oh, we were like, oh, I can't believe they destroyed Kamino. Like,
Yeah.
because in Legends we saw where that Kamino survived all the way through whenever,
Yeah.
but they chose to take Kamino out, and I think that was like a wow factor. But it's like
yeah,
it makes sense. It makes sense. So I think that was a good thing.
Sense. Totally makes sense, and there's so many threads that can be pulled into all of these other Star Wars stories now. Like,
Well, really,
They-
the Bad Batch is going to be the tie-in show that I think is going to bring a lot of the live actions into meaning. I would think, just because
think
of the
about
time
it.
frame,
And all
the
the
time frame alone.
that Omega and the Bad Batch have met. I mean, think about it. She already knows Rex. They were already talking about how they want to drop her off with Rex to keep her safe, which they may or may not do. But have you ever read or listened to the audiobook Ahsoka?
I have not listened to the audiobook.
But it is I don't want to give it away, but basically right before Rebels, you know that Ahsoka is Fulcrum and she's going to meet up with Rex. And if Omega's meeting up with Rex and Ahsoka visits as Fulcrum, then who's to say that Ahsoka's not the one training or guiding these force powers of Omega? So
Now that's a hot take. Oh my gosh, that's a hot take.
Absolutely.
Oh,
so there's that. She already knows Fennec Shand. She's already met Cad Bane. She's the clone of Jango, which makes her the twin of Boba. And now we're starting to tie in all of those people. She's already played with Hera and Chopper. So she can pop up in basically any series in the next year. And
that's true. That's true.
Makes sense. But let's have Bad Batch season 2 first. Because you've gotta lead into that, like gently ease into that, and then say, "Whoa, it's Omega, live action Omega."
Yeah, they really set her up where she could be in anything, and we do
And she
have
could be
someone
she could be played by Tamora Morrison.
No,
with a wig on,
No.
with a wig
With
on.
a blonde wig, yeah.
no, get out, get out, DB.
That'd be a little rough.
Well, we do have a new addition to the crew, Diedrich from Dork Wars podcast. What's going on, Diedrich?
What's up?
Yo,
This is the first
hear
Dork.
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you great, man. First Dork Wars
Awesome.
live that Diedrich has participated in. It's good to have you, bud.
good to be here.
All right.
I don't know how long I'll be here, but I just figured I'd check things out while I could.
Heck
Cool.
yeah, man. Just come in and chill for a few moments.
Yeah.
My dog is acting up right now, and I'm trying to be the mute when I can.
So what was the hot? I heard the ending there where you were talking about Omega. What was the hot take with that?
I
So
think
Omega's force
Omega's
sensitive.
force sensitive.
Oh, I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think they've been hitting on that for a while.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Well,
Nobody
maybe
agrees with me.
a lot of people started steering away from that thinking, though.
Nobody agrees.
Well,
with
I
me.
think because in Star Wars they're trying to lead in with the cloning technology of force sensitives with Grogu. I think they're tying everything together and that's another way they're doing it. So,
Yappers.
Definitely.
Yeah. So there was a comment, and starred comment. I do want to get to this. I know we just talked about Omega as Force sensitive being a hot take. Joker Voice has a hot take. I want to talk about this for a moment, even if we don't take a ton of time on it. Joker Voice says Darth Maul should have never been given the title of Darth. Maul was never a Sith.
You're right.
Oh, dang. So this is it. I still think it's a hot take, though.
why was he never a Sith?
So
Because
I guess, I mean,
he's
how much?
abided by the rule of two back then.
Well, but there was only.
Well,
There
that's
was
old, we're talking
only
about old
Maul.
canon, though. If we're bringing in Plagueis, we're bringing in stuff that's not necessarily canon anymore. So how do we know anything about that? We really don't know Maul's entire backstory right now.
Right. But even then, he really does seem like a Asajj Ventress-esque character. Like he really just seems more like an assassin. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I
Look
like
at
it.
what he does in the Clone Wars when he brings all of the criminal syndicates together. He's definitely had more training than that of an assassin. He's somehow political, and he's got that Sith ability to be manipulative. So I think Maul is way stronger than Ventress ever could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But Papa Palps back then, I believe his Sith was what's his name? The real regal guy who was a Jedi and now he's not.
Dooku,
thank you.
Tyrannus. His name is Tyrannus.
Yes.
Yeah, Darth
yes.
Tyrant. I don't think he, but I don't think he had brought Dooku in as his apprentice at that time. I think
that wasn't until, and that is canon. He didn't bring him in until Maul died, or a little bit after.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's correct.
Off with the timeline.
And Joker Voice is correct here. Palpatine did play fast and loose with the rule of two.
Absolutely.
as most Sith really do.
It's like guidelines. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Their guidelines.
There's only two of us, but I would like a nice choice.
That was great.
Two-ish.
Good hot takes. Let's turn to DB. DB, Dragon Buddy, what is your hot take for Star Wars?
It's been probably said more eloquently than I can lay it out, but
That's okay.
the Empire is not the evil ones. They're not the bad guys through all of this. And it starts going back into the prequel trilogy. The Republic and the Senate, full of bureaucrats and corruption and very little protection. You have these trade routes that are being taxed, which, taxation is theft. We'll just throw that out there for one. But the fact that
even in a galaxy far, far away, baby.
Right.
You can't be libertarian and pro-empire. This is an interesting.
Right.
This is why it's a hot take. Diedrich,
Right.
calm down.
No, but the taxation led to the Trade Federation basically starting a blockade, but engaging in war. And the Republic, the Senate, all they could do was sit and talk about it and how bad it was. And then democratically, they decided that they had needed somebody to take control over all of it and to crush this separatist movement, to bring it back to the Republic. And he was given these powers and would give the control back to the Senate when the separatists were no longer a threat, which, we rode right through the sequel trilogy with the separatists. They just changed who they were. They went from the Trade Federation to the rebels, rebelling against the Empire's peace. We have several examples through here. One, we can go same thing with the trilogy. The Jedi, they were the keepers of the peace, yet they took children at a very young age from their parents, from their loved ones, and then were told to suppress that love and to suppress that emotion and suppress
right.
those attachments. And we know that they did this very early in life when Anakin himself is turned away for being too old to do this too. Now, Anakin came to the Jedi as a strong, independent, self-reliant little 10-year-old, and after all of his Jedi training, we see a broken, confused, impulsive, showing signs of mental health deterioration in his character, all from the Jedi's training.
Yeah.
So we'll steer away from the whole religious cult because, that it kind of falls into those categories as well.
Yeah.
But I won't argue that one. And you have Mace Windu. Came in. He is all about trying to take out the evil one, the Emperor, and was going to execute him without a trial, without bringing this to light for everyone else to see what was going on, which is kind of shady, little suspect.
I don't know, Dragon Buddy. He was too dangerous to be left alive, man.
Look what happened when you left him alive.
That's true.
Well, he was fighting for his life there at that point. I'm just saying, just because your leader shoots lightning from his fingertips doesn't make him all that bad.
He was faking it just to get Anakin on his side.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Maybe that's a hot take. I think that too, Leonard.
All right. So then this brings us through decades of war with the rebellion, finally stealing the plans for the Death Star. And where are we going here? Now, this Death Star was created to bring in a quick and swift end to this decades-long war that had been going on, to bring peace to the galaxy. Let's look at our ships. We've got our TIE fighters. They are forward-facing fighter starships. No peripheral views whatsoever. Yet you have the rebellion having their A-wings and Y-wings and X-wings, and definitely made for war, all fitted with droids to assist them during battle. I'll give them credit. They did have a medical frigate, which we don't see on the Empire side. However, of course, you'd have a medical frigate if your job is war and you're sending everyone out to fight.
So, okay, is your point that the Empire is not as militant as the rebels?
I would say part of that is less militant, more designed for keeping the peace as opposed to destroying their enemy.
I would argue the opposite, that the way that the Imperial military is set up, it's almost impossible to maintain peace.
How so?
Because of the vast military industrial complex that it produces. You'll have to constantly conquer to increase and increase and increase. The model that the Empire was built off of is one of war and complete conquest, and that cycle it has to be fed or you will implode.
Right. And then if you turn around and look at to where, after the 2 Death Stars, including one of them was probably filled with nothing but contractors and subcontractors.
Right.
As per,
That's a good point.
It's still under.
It would be a sucky day to be a space surveyor that day.
Plumbers and roofers and siders. I
just wanted a job.
But so the Republic takes over, and even Mando makes a joke out of it that everything's kind of in disarray. That all of the violence that he sees goes on. What's his name? Griff tells him, why don't you report it? And he's like, that's a joke. The client says it himself that all I see is death and chaos. When the Empire, anything that it would touch, it would bring about prosperity. It would bring about security.
Right.
So I see that Joker voice where you said the Empire was created to fight the invasion of the Yuzon Vong.
I always liked that theory back in the 90s or the early 2000s.
Well, that was it in legends, in the books. That's kind of.
I'm sticking more towards outside of the books, going towards prequel trilogy and original
Disney
trilogy.
What's canon
sequel
now?
trilogy is a little rough, with a lot of contradiction.
Yeah, and as much as I love the books, as much as I love Legends and all of, that's not quite canon anymore. So I think they were kind of sticking with canon, what's canon now. But yes, I can see where you're coming from, DB. That was one of mine too, and I know that's one of Diedrich's. Like the Empire did nothing wrong, right?
I love
Right.
I love that subreddit. If y'all ever been there, it's hilarious. I love checking that every week.
Oh yeah. There's some really good points in there. Like I said, there's some people on YouTube along as well that have laid this out in a very, very intriguing way.
Well, the Empire really did keep order. You know, there wasn't a lot happening that they didn't have control of, and a lot of that is, you know, they had kind of control until the rebels, you know, came in and did their thing, the original trilogy. But they had peace, they had prosperity. The day-to-day lives of the citizens, was that really changed that much? Because it didn't seem like, especially the Outer Rim, those cats were going through the same
where
stuff.
in the galaxy you lived, right? If you were an alien and you lived in the Outer Rim, that could be bad. Right, enslaved a lot of those people.
Yeah,
yeah, and that even happened in the Republic, though. I mean, it's what really changed for the people, other than like they were subsidized, they were, you know, kind of taken care of. They were tracked more, of course. Everyone had like chain codes and all this other stuff.
I think that even canon makes a lot of scenes where we see a lot of the races be worse off under the Empire. Look at the Ryloth, or not the Twi'leks, excuse me.
Twi'leks, yeah.
They're a lot worse off under the Empire. We see what happens during the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
The Wookiees get enslaved.
But some of these things were also being done during the rule of the Republic and under control of the Senate. We were seeing Wookiees being hunted by Trandoshans. We were seeing the Twi'leks that were basically being kidnapped and sold off into slavery. Those things were also taking place during. I mean, you look at both of them. Both sides had blood on their hands.
There's a difference between criminals and then government sanctioning.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also who wins. Who wins in the end is who writes the history over it.
Yeah, and I think the Empire was a lot more lenient on the, you know, enslaving the Wookiees and the Twi'leks, all these other races, because we do see that the Empire is definitely pro-human, right? I mean, everyone who's an official in the Empire is human. Now, versus the Republic, where there were aliens in the Senate, and there were aliens who had prominent positions in the Republic. In the Empire, that does not happen. So I will say this one thing: it might be better for the humans, or the same for the humans. But if you're an alien species, yeah, you're done for in the Empire.
What has the Empire ever done for us? You ever hear the sound of a TIE fighter? I mean, that alone.
That makes it all okay, right?
Well, it makes some of it okay.
Let's do it.
I wouldn't expect anything less from a bucket bro.
Oh, got to bring that in there,
right? Sith life, you know.
So Joker Voice said this way earlier in chat. Oh, I see Dork Wars, the podcast. I have a show about hot takes and not have the king of hot takes. Let's make this a series. I think this would be a really good series.
Oh, yes.
Like,
definitely.
Hot takes with different people. Star Wars hot takes with different Red Fivers.
Right.
And friends of the Red Five. Joker Voice, we're going to have you on for some hot takes. I like this.
I like that.
This is going to become a thing every couple episodes. I like it.
I like it. I like it.
I do too. So, Dietrich, I know that DB stole like your big one. That was your big hot take.
Oh, the Empire was good.
I know that's one that you talk about. We talk about a lot. Not quite on the show, but we definitely talk about that a lot.
It's
Do you
half,
have any
half
other
my
ones?
opinion, half a joke at this point.
Do what?
It's half my opinion, half a joke at this point. It's kind of like birds aren't real.
They're all just cameras for the government, right?
That's right.
Are there any?
That's what you mean.
Are there any other hot takes that you have, Diedrich, other than the Empire?
So, okay, I'll go back to when I came in. You were talking about how Maul wasn't a real Sith, or we got to that kind of when I came in.
Yeah, we had that.
And it made me think, out of all of them, I would say Dooku was never an actual Sith.
Dum.
Because his goals and his ultimate, like, the reasons why he did everything was always to reform the Republic and to reform the Jedi, never to destroy it and never to tear it down completely. So the reasons why he joins the Sith and the reasons why he does all that he does under Sidious is to ultimately supplant him and bring about a peaceful existence with a better type of galactic government. I'm not entirely sure if he was going to keep it as a republic, probably not, but whatever Dooku was going to do, he always had altruism as his motive.
Yeah.
It even tells Obi-Wan in episode 2, he's like, hey, there's a big baddie worse than me. Help me beat him.
Right.
And he was very forthright with Obi-Wan in that scene. I mean, that
was his grandson in the Jedi when you think about it, right? Because you got Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, their family.
Right. And he laid it out for him. He literally told him there is someone high in the Senate that is controlling all of this. And I'm telling you this right now. Join me. We can take him out. And he didn't do it. I almost wonder what would happen if Obi-Wan would have joined Dooku. I would love that what if. Now that I'm thinking of that would be a great what if. But you're right there.
We start the scene where Obi-Wan's in the prison and he's like floating and Dooku is circling him around. And he's like, join me. And Obi-Wan's like, all right.
Sure.
It
was a little anticlimactic, but ta-da.
Okay.
We're supposed to see child Dooku in that series. Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi.
Cannot wait for that.
A couple more months. I'm looking forward to it. You know, like some people are not into Star Wars animation. I'll take it all.
That's some of the best Star Wars out there.
Seriously,
and I used to be the same way. I used to be the same way, Lunar Girl. When Clone Wars came out, I think I was in college when Clone Wars came out. I was like, man, that's a cartoon. Yeah. I'm too cool for that, right?
Yeah.
And then it's probably been 10 years now back. I was like, I'll sit down. I'll watch a couple episodes, and I watched a couple. I was like, and then I watched a couple more. I was like, oh, and I was like, yeah. You know, now you're in it, and now it's. Yeah, I mean, especially like the last 4 seasons of Clone Wars were phenomenal. Yes. Rebels was phenomenal. I mean, just great stuff.
Yeah,
great stuff. And Joker Voice has a good thought here. That's not really a hot take. I think it's still a hot take. Dooku never embraced the dark side. His eyes were never Sith yellow. I was going to say that as well. Yeah, we never really see him lose control in his passions the way that other Sith do, right? Like he's always got control. He's always got that he knows what he's doing. He's using the dark side for his own purposes.
He's like the opposite of Kylo Ren. When you think about it, Kylo Ren's always just smashing stuff. He's got all this raw power, but
always emotional.
He's super focused.
Yeah. And he does. He's using. It's almost like he's trying to use Palpatine for his own ends. Like they're kind of using each other, but of course we know that Dooku gets the raw end of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought that he had an ulterior motive or a more noble motive in joining Palpatine and the dark side and the Separatists. I really do think that Dooku believed in the Separatist movement. Like he wasn't. I knew that he was in on a lot of this stuff, but I don't think he was in on the Empire as much as he was on the Separatist movement.
I don't think he cared for the Separatists either. I think that was just another piece of the puzzle. I really don't think he cared too much about either way. I think at the end of the day, he wanted both to be ultimately united at the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he wanted the Separatist flag to be the one that was flying at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Empire that that was to come was the Empire that Dooku thought it was going to be. If you know what I'm saying. I think it was a was more like the Republic, I think, and that is a little bit more it was freer than the Empire, but I think there was order to be had, but I don't know. I think Dooku's Empire was a lot different than the Empire that Palpatine came.
I also think he really wanted to see change within the Jedi Order. he felt that they've become complacent. They've become vain in a lot of ways.
He has good points.
It was the Sith took over the entire Senate right under their nose.
Yeah.
So for that to have happened, they obviously were not doing what they were supposed to be doing, or what they said that they were setting out to do as far as the Jedi are concerned. The evil crept in right underneath them, and they had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good take, Diedrich. I like it. I like it a lot. I think that Dooku really had more. I don't know. He had more focus on other things. He wasn't all about just ruling the entire galaxy. He really wanted to make a change, and I could feel that. So
yeah,
I really like that take.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Can we talk about Darth Jar Jar? Because I believe it. I believe it. I'm 100%.
Okay, so I'm getting to my take. Okay, I'm getting to my take. This is my take. This is my hot take.
Told you it was coming.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we talked Darth Jar Jar. It was before we even joined Red 5 last time we talked about Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Our first like 5 months, every single episode, we had like a hint at Darth Jar Jar until we actually came out with our first anniversary show, or May the 4th show. It wasn't our first anniversary. It was the May the 4th show. Our first May the 4th show was Darth Jar Jar. It was such a joke. It was so fun. And this is a hot take that, this splits right
or something like that, right? Our legends.
Yeah, there's always truth to legends, but this wasn't really legends, though. This wasn't really legends. So this splits people right down the middle. There are people I know who are like, yes, Jar Jar was a Sith. And there are people that I know that are like, no, never. That's a dumb idea. Let's get into it. I think Darth Jar Jar exists. I think Jar Jar was supposed to be the Sith Lord. I think he was supposed to be a lot bigger and badder than he was supposed to be.
I think episode 1 Jar Jar, and then Lucas changed it up. I think episode 2 and 3 Jar Jar is a very different Jar Jar.
Very different, because he's a prominent character in that first episode. Okay, he's prominent. He is all in your face. He is goofy. He is stupid. And if you look at Yoda in Empire Strikes Back, he's really in your face and weird. Like Yoda at the beginning is just like, who's this little green alien guy? And Jar Jar's kind of the same way. He's definitely more in your face and goofy.
Never trust a being you find in a swamp.
Yeah, exactly. And he was that off character that could have been something more. Like he was exiled from the Gungans, right? He was exiled for being too clumsy. Nah, dude, them people, they were scared of him. Like they were scared of Jar Jar. Okay, he's got all these flips that we don't see other Gungans do. Like he's got all these little quirks going on, man. And later on, we see that Jar Jar kind of paves the way for Palpatine to become the Emperor. Like he pretty much gives him the power. He makes that really great speech. He gets all the support. So I think that's kind of part of that modification of the story. Like he was he was supposed to be the big bad guy, but no, they kind of lessened that role, but he still made Palpatine the Emperor.
Right.
Yeah. There's so much in there. There's so much in there. I know. I need some rebuttals before I keep going. I know. Lunar Girl's like, no. She's coming. She's like, I'm never going to be on Dork Wars again. They're so stupid.
I'm only going to add 2, so somebody else needs to argue against.
Exactly. Kelly and I had this conversation when we were going before this show. I was listening to some videos on YouTube on talking about the Empire, and she heard Jar Jar, and she's like, "You son of a, you're gonna do it, aren't you? You're gonna say it." I'm like, "No, but I guarantee it's gonna be said, and I'm not gonna do it because I'm all about Darth Jar Jar. He was there. He was the key to all of it.
I'm just." Jar Jar is my most hated Star Wars character.
So. It is my wife's favorite.
I can't stand him.
Wait, did you say it's your wife's favorite, Dietrich?
Yeah, it's Liz's favorite.
I know I don't like her for some reason. I knew that was it. We're good friends. We're good friends. We're good friends.
Lord.
But I if you look, and I know Diedrich has these points too, if you look in the first episode, okay, he's got such a prominent role. Like he makes these weird jumps. Like he's very acrobatic. Even when you see, it's Qui-Gon's talking, and who's he talking to? He's talking to somebody. I can't remember the exact scene.
Okay, let me go ahead and add here. So there's a lot of scenes where the animated character that is Jar Jar, who they paid animators to create and do every single movement of his body, where Jar Jar moves his lips.
100%.
Jar Jar will move his lips and wave his hand. Sometimes it's very kind of in the background, very nonchalant, but he seems like he is making other main characters say certain lines. And the fact that you had to pay animators, George Lucas took it out of his wallet, gave other people money to do this thing. It was important to him, right? Like there was
his lips are moving.
We've seen Obi-Wan do in the OT. Now we're seeing Jar Jar at the very episode 1, the very beginning, do the same type of thing, but even more powerfully, in a more broad sense, kind of away from the main characters. In the background, he's constantly doing this and moving his lips just slightly, but it's there. And the fact that it is an animated character, is not just an actor who accidentally started mouthing the lips, because that does happen. Sometimes you can zoom in and see physical actors they'll know the part so well, they'll have rehearsed it with whoever so many times that sometimes they'll start to mumble. But this is an animated character.
Yeah,
that's not going to be the
case. His lips were totally animated. Yeah. And I want to talk about the war scene, like when they're fighting all the droids. Okay, Jar Jar's in there. Oh no, wait, just we're getting there, JT. That was part of the act, man. It's part of the act. It's part of he's got to still seem like he's a bumbling idiot.
Right.
But
dumb luck.
Dumb luck. This is what I'm getting to, Dragon Buddy. You're right there. You're with me.
Yes.
There is a technique called the drunken fist. Okay. In Kung Fu. Okay. That is the drunken fist, where you act drunk and you can't, anticipate your opponent's movements. This is what Jar Jar does during the battle droid scene. He is like, he's making it seem like he's an idiot, and he's not doing everything, but he's manipulating the whole thing. It was so weird and out there until you think of it in this way. Okay. It is so weird and out there. And you're like, why would they put this in there? This is not Star Wars, until you realize it is Star Wars. They were trying to get across that Jar Jar is like, when he trips on this whole thing of the Boomba balls that destroy, he trips on them and they accidentally destroy all the things they need to. He's taken out that tank and he accidentally hits the droid with this and that, and it's all clumsy, right? No, he is using the Force to manipulate all of this and to seem like he's an idiot, but he's not. He's a Sith Lord.
I suppose it could happen. It could happen, but then he's just going to be my most hated Sith. So
it's why it's a hot take.
He's from the same planet as Palpatine.
It's the very same planet.
Oh my gosh, he is Naboo.
Yeah.
I mean, make that connection.
Yeah, it's suspicious. It's very suspicious. And he just so happens to be the one that puts him into the position to be.
The title of that movie is called The Phantom Menace.
Right, and we all know that Palpatine was the Emperor.
Do we know that? Like, well, back then, were people sure? I don't know. Was that stated?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
I can't remember. I was 10 or 11 or something.
It was like, we knew who that was from the beginning. So why would you call that the Phantom Menace when we already knew what we knew about the character?
Right.
The Phantom Menace is Jar Jar, okay?
How could someone that dumb be chosen to go on missions with 2 Jedi, to become a senator, and then to become the speaking party in a democratic stage, to give all the powers to the Emperor? How could someone that dumb do that without some form of Jedi mind trickery, and very well played out Jedi mind trickery?
Dragon Buddy.
I like JT's last comment.
It's an act, JT. Get over it, man.
Sith don't have their tongues
Hey,
pierced.
and you know what?
He's
Qui-Gon
right.
is the only one to take a lightsaber to the stomach and freaking die.
That's right. What's up with that, man?
That up.
You didn't even have to say that.
If Qui-Gon had been appointed to the council, he could have learned Force healing.
Right?
That's right. There's a hot take. Where was
He
that in
didn't
episode
want
1?
to. He didn't want to. I think they kept offering it to him, and he kept turning them down.
Like, nah, man, I don't want to be part
But,
of your thing.
You know
Screw
that
that.
that's not canon, but you know it's legends. But,
No, but you're right, Dragon Buddy. Like he went from like the dumbest of the dumb to the guy that gave Palpatine all the powers. So
mhm.
I don't know. There's something there. There's something underneath all of the madness that is Jar Jar. Like what I think, and this is my personal opinion, that we went through episode 1 and everyone hated Jar. They were like Lunar Girl. I hate to call you out, Lunar. They were like you. They hated Jar Jar, and Lucas took a step back and was like, we'll edit the story a little bit. We will take Jar Jar and make him the
Count
vehicle
Dooku in there so we can cover some plot holes. And
because where did he come from? I mean, that was really just in there. That was just. I don't know. Dooku just came out of nowhere. Like it was weird. Like you kill Maul. I know that Maul kind of. I mean, he was episode 1. He's the bad guy. Blah 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 blah. But Dooku was just like, where'd this guy come from? We didn't hear about him in episode 1. Like, why not? Because he was an active Jedi, sort of, right?
Right.
Or close to at that point. So there's not even a mention of him in episode 1.
Yeah, the one thing I think that hurts the prequel trilogy is having such a revolving cast of villains. It's almost too many. It's like in the OT, you have Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Palpatine, maybe if you consider Jabba.
right.
But you have like so many in each episode.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that you've got Maul, Dooku, and then Grievous, and they all represent parts of Vader. So that's that was
and I like to
plan it that way. He tweaked it well.
Yeah. And I do like the Dooku character. I'm not saying I don't like Count Dooku. I like Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
And he became I think I like Dooku more because of the Clone Wars. I mean, the Clone Wars really fleshed out Dooku in a way that
he has very
no other media can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he gets maybe a total of 10 minutes. No, not even probably. I mean, maybe 8 to 10 minutes.
Why about 10 when you consider episode 2 and 3 together?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to say together. I was going to say just in episode 2. But yeah, I mean, together, all in all, in the
Maybe
movies,
15.
he probably has 10 to 15 minutes of screen time, more on the 10 side, I would think.
Right.
You know, and where I get my most development from him, of course, is the Clone Wars. And they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
His chin seems so long and pointy on the clone. That animation style made it like he's got like a cone head on his chin,
Right.
type of vibe.
Yeah, that was. I will say that it's still not as bad as Rebels Yoda. I'm not. I can't defend Rebels Yoda at all. He looked like a cracked out kid. I mean, he should have had a sign that said "Homeless will Jedi for food" or something. I just don't. I don't know. It's creepy.
It's great.
Y'all need some Jedi.
Yeah, he's got the itches, man. He was so freaky looking. But that, I don't know. I don't know. This is what I think. I think Darth Jar Jar was supposed to be a thing, and he just didn't become a thing because everyone hated him. And
It's
it's
a
Luna
theory
Girl's
that
fault.
makes sense,
It does.
but I still hate him.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. So are there any other hot takes that we can throw out there before we jettison this escape pod, if you will?
You might want to save some hot takes for next time if you're going to make it a series.
That's true. I feel like there's so many hot takes out there, though. I really do. I feel like there's so many.
There's gotta be, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the universe is so rich. And I don't even mind talking about some of these again. Like, that don't bother me.
Yep.
But
Joker
That's all I
voice
got for.
had a great one. We
Where
were
was it?
talking months ago.
oh, I don't have that in the chat. No.
I'm going to talk to Joker voice because he had a theory we were talking about months ago, and it actually made sense. And when he comes on your show, he needs to bring that up.
We will. And we'll also say the sequels are not canon for his appearance too. We're gonna have that
At least once.
at least once. That's right. We'll humor
You know,
Joker voice.
It is kind of funny that like when the prequel trilogy came out, there was a lot of pushback for it, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I was happy because the original trilogy came out in '77 when I was born, and the Phantom Menace came out the year my oldest was born. So it was like instant, like this is cool. This is something we can bond over. And I got some of it, and yeah, too much CGI. There's plenty of things in there, but I loved it right off the bat. And there are people that are that kind of love with the sequel trilogy, but still hate on the prequels. And
Yeah.
it's a strange thing. It really is.
Yeah. And Diedrich and myself grew up with the prequels. So I don't know. I think we have kind of a bias for that because we grew up with it. And I really enjoy watching the prequels. I watch them over and over. I especially love the Phantom Menace, and I love Revenge of the Sith. I used to like it when I was a kid. I was like all for Attack of the Clones. I was like, oh, Star Wars, Attack of the Clones. They had like the new super droids, and like the toys were amazing. But I watch it now and I'm like, some of that's really cringy. I still enjoy the movie though. I still enjoy the movie. Yeah. And I get why they did some things, but Joker voice, man, he is up there, man.
He is
Who saved Goku? I'm gonna have to save that for Joker voice appearance too. Man, Joker voice's appearance on Hot Take. It's just gonna have to be me and him, and it's gonna take like 3 hours. That man.
This is like Joker's perfect topic.
Yeah, this is made for him.
Yeah,
we're gonna get him on that. Yeah. Andrew said perp saber. I don't know what that means, but I'm a little scared. But with that, let's go on and turn it to Master Yoda for the word of the week.
Oh yay!
Yes. Oh yeah. Let's not do that.
Oh, it was raining really hard in Dagobah system there.
I tell you what, this is the second time I've had that problem, and I don't know why. I feel like my internet did not do that justice. So you can catch that on TikTok this week. I'm going to put that on TikTok.
I love Master Yoda's word of the week. Like when I first started listening to your show last year, that was like one of my favorite things that you started doing.
And that's funny because it's one of Diedrich's least favorite things of all time.
I'm sorry.
I hate every episode. We're like, all right, what's the word of the week going to be this week, guys? I don't know. What did we say about it? I don't know. Let's roll it back. I don't know.
We all have our moments. We have a Yoda mask on our show. Oh, yeah. Had a Yoda mask on.
What's funny is Yoda mask, and it was Bat Yoda too.
Bat Yoda mask.
We had a Batman episode where I did like a Bat Yoda impression thing, and I didn't even know you guys did that. And I watched all shows like, dude, I feel like I ripped them off, even though I didn't really rip them off.
Bat Yoda can spread the love,
That's right.
Yep. Brady hates Bat Yoda, and they raffled it off today in Chicago at the Scarif Con. And Brady's
just Yoda.
The Yoda mask. And Brady's son won the Yoda mask. So
no, he did.
Full circle, his kid now owns the thing that he hates.
Yeah.
So instead of just getting it on Wednesday nights, he's going to get it every day of his life.
His kid now owns it. Great stuff.
I mean, they were even talking like how Jordan's going to stand over top of Brady in his sleep, and Brady's going to wake up and see Yoda, and that would be that would be epic.
That's great. And of course, we're going to talk about where you guys come from. I mean, you're obviously part of the Red 5 Network, but Dragon Buddy, where can we find you?
You can find me Wednesday night, 7:05 on YouTube, ATSW The Escape Pod, where I join Don and Brady. You can actually catch me tomorrow on Salacious Rum. They do a Sunday Lego build every Sunday, and I got my Stormtrooper in the mail. So I'll be on tomorrow on Salacious Rum building with the Lego studs and studettes, Monkey
Brick
Lizard
babes.
Army.
Brick babes. Not
Awesome.
Brick Girl.
babes. Brick babes.
Brick Babes. Okay, Brick
Ah,
Babes. You joining
Get
us?
right.
You gotta get it right, man. If you're gonna say
Right.
it, get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salacious and myself have been having some interaction. We've been talking, and he started
Right.
listening to Dork Wars, which is great.
Nice.
And yeah, I was introduced to him when Shanti went on his show. Probably it was like 4 or 5 months ago now.
Mhm.
But dude, I laughed so hard. It
Oh.
was hilarious.
The
That
chat
guy-
is usually like 30 people in there, all just
yeah.
goofing off, and
Yeah.
it's a fun
But the
thing.
thing is, he's in the UK, so like it happens like 2 or 3 o'clock my time when I'm working.
Right.
So
Right.
it's hard to catch him, but he is hilarious when I do get to. And the
Absolutely.
escape pod. If you
Mhm.
have nothing else to do on a Wednesday night, even if you have other stuff to do, put it on hold because the escape pod is a party. Okay.
Mhm.
If
We have a good time. Not for the children.
it's not for the
NSFW.
kids.
Kids.
No, we are professionally vulgar. We're not offensive. We're just professionally vulgar.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's okay. We try to keep our show for the family.
Right.
You know, we want everyone to be able to enjoy Dork Wars. That is not the escape pod. And that's okay. I love the escape pod. I will
Yep.
join in that chat every Wednesday when
We're
I
usually
can.
a couple drinks in, and we have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the best way to do it. So, Lunar Girl, where can we find you?
You can find me in all of the socials for the Sidebar Cantina. That's Twitter, that is Instagram. The guys have a Discord. I'm on there sometimes. The guys have a Facebook. I post on there sometimes. But you can find that at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina. Also, Don from ATSW The Escape Pod and I just made a brand new podcast. So
Sure did.
we just started going on our adventure into Stranger Things. We're both noobs, never saw it before. We decided, hey, why don't we start watching it? So
It's about time.
yeah, right? DB's been asking me forever.
Since it started. I'm
Since
glad
it
she's
started.
finally doing it.
Yeah. So we watch one episode a week and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's called Stranger Things Has Happened. So go check that out on YouTube.
And I can attest, I love this show.
Thank
You
you.
guys have done a great job. I think today it was earlier today was episode 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your 3rd episode, right? And listening in, just the takes are hilarious. As someone who has seen it all the way through, I'm caught up on Stranger Things. It's great to go back and rewatch, and to hear your guys' fresh takes on these episodes has been great.
Thank
It
you.
has. It was hilarious. I was listening today. I was playing some PlayStation with my kid before she went to bed, and listening to you guys, I was just laughing at your takes on Steve and Nancy and all these other things. Yeah, especially you were talking about the parents or whatever. Jesus, you were just like, "Get out of here!" But thanks for the casserole. That was my favorite line. I was. That was oh gosh, that cracked me up. That cracked me up. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was
But-
a little more on the escape pod language. So
That's okay. That's
if
okay.
you want to hear exactly what I said, go watch the episode.
That's right. And that is Stranger Things Has Happened. Go check that out. The Escape Pod. It's all the same people. You guys are all the same people,
We're all the
which is
same.
fine.
Yep.
And it's fine. Entertaining nonetheless. All Red
Yeah.
5 Network as well. Diedrich, do you have anything you want to add about yourself before we head this thing out?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Diedrich's like, I'm here. But you can find Diedrich and myself on Dork Wars, the podcast. We release an episode most Mondays. We didn't this week. It's been crazy. We've been trying to get together. Grant, that's not me. I'm not Grant, but Grant is he was on a vacation this week. He was on a cruise, and Andrew's not been feeling well. And then we've all been busy, and Wesley's dating people or not. I don't know. There's crazy stuff going on. So we're all trying to get together to record episodes. I'm gonna try to have something on Monday. It may just be an old recording of a live or something, but we're gonna have something this Monday. Every Monday we release an episode on Dork Wars Podcast with all of the Dork Wars hosts, and that is myself, Diedrich, Grant, Andrew, and Wesley. There's some combination of us going to be on there. We always have a great time. You can find that on dorkwarspodcast.com. You can look up our link tree, Dork Wars Podcast link tree on Google. You will find it. Look at the merch store. Look at our YouTube channel. Look at all that stuff. And we just want to interact with you guys. So check out our socials as well. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Just type in Dork Wars the Podcast. You're going to find us. We love to hear your comments. We like to talk to you. We like you to talk to us. We just like the interaction. That's my favorite part, is talking to people who listen to what we say. Right?
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love DMs. I love comments on my coffee posts that I make for Sidebar every morning. It's just awesome when you wake up and you see a comment there. So
yeah, it makes you feel good, and I just love having those discussions. And this is a great avenue for that. So hopefully you guys will follow those things, talk with us, chat with us. We even have a group on Facebook now called Dork Wars, a Star Wars community, where we just talk Star Wars. Every Thursday we have a meme and GIF Thursday, where we just post a funny Star Wars meme or GIF or whatever, and just a good time with that. So until next time, thanks, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for supporting Dork Wars, the podcast. You can check us out on facebook.com/Dork Wars, the podcast. And if you would like to join in on the discussion or maybe suggest topics for us to discuss, please do so by joining our Discord community or sending us an email at dorkwarspodcast@gmail.com.